of Ghana is a Nigerian God pleasure, bringing you political news in our channel, Ghanatube. Speaker Bagbin has ordered the MPs, ministers to regulate side jobs within 14 days or face the penalty. The Speaker of the Parliament, Bagbin, has issued a firm directive to all members of Parliament, that's the MPs, the ministers and the deputy ministers currently holding any office of exceptions, giving them a 14-day deadline for certain individuals to regulate their positions or risk violating the 1992 Constitution. And you know, when you just read the 1992 Constitution, it is actually punishments that they will fix. And he is not playing about it. He has given them 14 days ultimatum to make sure they regularize their side hustles, being an MP, deputy ministers, anyone holding any profit or a numerous office in the government will actually have to choose what they need to do with their life. Just as we've seen that the Speaker of the Parliament, Bagbin, has issued a firm directive to all members of the Parliament, MPs, ministers and deputy ministers currently holding any office of profit or emulations not expressly authorized by law or failing outside constitutional perceptions, giving them a 14-day deadline for such individuals to regularize their position or risk violating this 1992 Constitution. According to a report by graphiconline.com, Speaker Bagbin emphasized that no member of Parliament official shall retain such an office without prior approval from the Speaker. He warned that silence, oversight, or informality shall not be accepted as a substitute for compliance. He warned that anyone that will actually want to do their own bid will have to face the law. Any such member shall, within 14 days from the Office of Communication, submit to the Committee of Office of Profit a legal request for approval in accordance with the procedures set out under Standing Order 2244. The directive requires full disclosure of the nature of the appointment, duties of enumeration, and any related information necessary for assessment. The Committee on Office of Profit, chaired by the second Deputy Speaker and comprising of 14 members, has been instructed to treat all requests with urgency. Speaker Bagbin also stressed that this move is to ensure compliance with Article 78 subsection 3 and Article 98 subsection 2 of the 1992 Constitution, which are intended to maintain a balance between the executive and the legislative to actually guide them against undue influence and politifications of institutions and abuse of office. He is actually doing the right thing because he's actually giving them these 14 days to come and submit and declare whatever side hustles or side business you're doing so that everyone will actually know your roots. He noted that the increasing trend of MPs and ministers accepting appointments on board, committees, and in private ventures, often without parliamentary scrutiny, raises serious ethical and constitutional concerns. This provision ensures that members and ministers do not convert public service into a platform for personal wealth accumulation. Bagbin stated, adding that such practices could weaken oversight and compromise public trust in Parliament. Then the Speaker of the Parliament reiterated that his description in approving such offices is bound by law and must follow committee recommendations. The structured framework, he said, is not subject to personal interpretation or optional compliances. He called on all MPs and ministers to adhere strictly to these constitutional and procedural requirements, reminding them that public office comes with a responsibility to uphold credibility, transparency, and institutional integrity. The directive forms part of broader efforts to uphold accountability and restore all compliances within Ghana's constitutional mandates concerning public services and political office, he actually reported. So no one of them is expected to do the biddings the way they actually want it, because it is not in the constitution that the MPs, ministers, the deputy ministers will actually be having a side jobs, and that it's not well recognized by the law. Yes, you heard it from the speaker, as he has actually ordered all the MPs, ministers to regulate their side jobs within 14 days. And actually this is actually coming to actually declare them, make people understand and know, so that they will actually know the beats and what is happening. Martin and Midu have actually accused OSP of deceiving Ghanaians in Ken Ofori-Attah's case. Wow. The former prosecutor, Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu, has launched a scattering attack on the office of the Special Prosecutor, accusing it as deliberately misleading the public in its high-profile pursuit of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Attah. In a blushing open letter, Amidu alleged that the OSP engaged in Ghanatube fraud and unpardonable deception by declaring Ken Ofori-Attah a wanted fugitive earlier this year. The controversy stems from the February 12th announcement by OSP head Kessie, who claimed that Ken Ofori-Attah, then reportedly abroad for medical treatment, was evading justice. Amidu Martins revealed that the OSP had already obtained an arrest warrant prior to his announcement, casting doubt on the integrity of the public narrative. The Rambo-style invasion of the suspect residence on the 11th day of February 2025 lends contrast to the fact that Amidu writes, questioning why the OSP failed to disclose the existence of the warrant during its initial media briefing. He particularly condemns the OSP's February 18th rehearsals when he removed Ofori-Attah from its unwanted list after receiving assurance from his return. It struck me particularly to condemn the OSP's February 18 rehearsals when it removed Ken Ofori-Attah from its wanted list after receiving assurance of his return. And he wrote, emphasized that only the court, not the OSP, have the authority to nullify arrest warrant. The former anti-corruption further suggests the possibility of perjury by the OSP in its warrants application, calling for full disclosure of court filings to determine whether due process was actually followed. The explosive letter paints a picture of a prosecutor agency operating beyond legal bounds and allegedly manipulating procedures for political ends. Martin Amidu warns that such conduct damages both the NDC and the government while undermining public trust in the state institutions. Please do well to comment, like, put on your notification bell so you get all our news one by one. Thanks, man.